So it doesn't matter, spring, summer, fall, winter, this is my favorite pond. And last time I was here, I caught my personal best largemouth through the ice twice in one day. And the cool thing about this pond, completely public and everybody knows about it, but they just don't catch big fish here. You gotta use the right bait. The fish here just aren't gonna hit anything. Just walking here, I had to have seen hundreds of coyote tracks, and that's not even an over exaggeration. I had to have seen hundreds. So maybe we'll even see a coyote today, who knows? But I need to get to stepping. I have all my tip ups already at the holes. I just gotta put the shiners on them. So in New Hampshire, you're allowed 6 lines at the same time. So for my first line, I'm gonna be using a jaw jacker here, and then 4 tip ups, and then I'm gonna be jigging using my Garmin Striker 4. And now the point of today's video is really just to show you guys some super beginner tips with the Garmin Striker 4. I've only had it now for a few months, but that's plenty of time for me to show you guys or share with you some beginner tips. First, let's just get all the tip ups set up. Today I am using massive shiners. If you follow my channel, you guys probably already know. These things are massive. Look at them, but I am a true believer in bigger bait, bigger fish. All right, so basically I just have to repeat that 4 more times. I'll meet you back in the bob house. And for my final line today, I'm gonna be using a 13 fishing Sonic-Core combo. It's a 28-inch medium rod, which is perfect for bass, perfect for pickerel, perfect for walleye. And if you're gonna go for like panfish or crappie or yellow perch or white perch, a medium power rod might be a little bit too stiff. You might wanna go with a light power or a medium light power. But for bass and pickerel, medium power is perfect. And if you guys have been following my ice fishing recently, you guys know I'm a true believer in bigger bait, bigger fish. Like, hold on a second. Let me just show you one of these giant shiners. Wow. I don't even think you guys can see that. That might be a little bit better, but look at the size of this shiner. This thing is about 5 inches long. And this is the type of shiner I'm gonna be jigging today. Super big. Whoa. Alright, so before I even can really get started, there's a few blips on my graph already. Ooh, that is a big mark. So let's get my shiner right down in there and not waste any time. See if we can and I want, ooh, look at that big mark. Ooh, there's a bunch of big marks down there. Don't even have time to really explain what I'm doing. Just immediately fish on the graph. Okay, so I know you guys got a quick preview of what the Garmin Striker 4 can do, but let's just start from the very beginning. Like I said, these are gonna be beginner tips. If you're already an expert on this, these tips really aren't gonna be for you. You're already gonna know what I'm talking about. So simply to turn on the Garmin, you just hold the power button, wait a couple seconds, and it comes to the main menu. And then this main menu will pop up, and there's a decent amount of settings and things you can do, but ignore everything except for the top 2, traditional and flasher. Now flasher is going to be basically that circle sonar you're used to looking at for ice fishing, and then traditional is just going to be your traditional sonar. And I am going to be going through both the traditional and the flasher, but let's just start out with the traditional. hit this check mark here, and boom, we're already in action. Now, as you guys can see on the top left of the screen here, the 7.6 is how deep it is. I'm fishing 7.6 feet. Water temp is 32.6 degrees. And 12.4 volts is just how much voltage my battery is putting off. And it's 10:57 in the morning. Wait, is it actually already 10:53 in the morning? Oh my goodness, it is already 10:53 in the morning. I don't know if you noticed this on the bottom left of the screen here. It says dual beam and chirp 77 kilohertz. But because these are just beginner tips, I'm not going to get too in-depth with what dual beam and chirp 77 kilohertz means. Very simply put, dual beam just means it shoots two beams down to the bottom of wherever you're fishing. So it just gives you a more accurate, more detailed reading. And some of the older fish finders will have a single beam. Some of the newer fish finders will even have a triple beam. This one has two, hence dual beam. Underneath it, it says chirp 77 kilohertz. Now, this might sound a little complicated at first, but is super simple to understand. So just think of 77 kilohertz as being a 45-degree cone down. So from the bottom of my transducer, the two beams are going about a 45-degree angle down. So that 45-degree angle cone looking down is perfect for shallow water. And you can always change this 77, super easy to change it as well. There's 3 bars over here, just click the 3 bars once, and it goes to range, gain, frequency, zoom, overlay numbers, and sonar setup. Just skip over everything except frequency. Click the check mark on frequency, and you have all these options here. You got 77 and 200. Skip those bottom two. Don't even worry about those bottom two. Just use chirp 77, chirp 200. And if you go to chirp 200, it automatically switches to a 200 kilohertz setup. And as you guys can tell, my shiner disappeared. That is because the 200 kilohertz is not a 45-degree angle down. It's more like a 15-degree angle down from the bottom of your transducer. So this is more of an exact location of where you're fishing. So in order for it to see my shiner, I basically have to be right underneath the ice hole. If my shiner swam either way to either side, probably not going to be able to see my shiner. But as you can tell, he's underneath my sonar right now. Chirp 200 is perfect for deeper water because it'll give you a narrow 15-degree beam down, and it'll give you an exact location of where your shiner is in super high detail. Okay, so now that you know the very basics of the Garmin Striker 4, now it's just a waiting game. It's basically almost like a video game. We just sit, watch the screen, and we watch a little red mark come up from the bottom, and there's a fish near our lure. Alright, so you guys seen a lot of the 77 kilohertz. Let's go to the 200. Super easy to switch in between frequencies. Got him. We're not gonna mess around. Oh! That's a big bass. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Oh, right in the snoot. Right in the snoot. Look at that little shine piece. Oh, boop. I will take that for the first fish today. All right, not a bad 2-pound bass. Solid bass to start out. I guess, the afternoon with now. Put it back. Oh. What a pain. My furthest flag away. Oh no, something's on here. Got him. Ooh, that's decent weight, I guess. Ooh, he did not like that. He did not like that at all. This is giant, whatever it is. I don't know what it is yet, but it is giant. Looks to be like a big bass. A big old bass, but I can't get him to the hole. Every time I get him close, he's like, nope, I'm good, thank you. How big is this bass? Wow. That's how big this bass is. What a giant. Oh, look at that. You were just too kind to me, bass. Nice and skinned hooked. He left me my shiner and everything. Oh, that's cool. Alright. Look at that. Okay. That is sweet. Not quite my biggest through the ice. This thing's maybe a 4-pounder. But man, I will take that all day. Well, fortunately, that was a super cool catch. Unfortunately, I thought I was recording on my underwater camera and I had this really cool underwater shot of me releasing that fish, but I wasn't recording. Okay, so we've been using the traditional sonar now, and I think that it is time to use the flasher option. And as you guys can tell, the flasher option might be a little bit confusing at first, but it's super simple. Right up here where the 0 is, that's the top of the ice. And this is just interference right here. And then all of this dark blue here is open water. And that red bar right there, that's the bottom. So as I raise my rod, you see those 2 bars by the 6? That's my shiner and swivel. But to me, either using the flasher or traditional, it doesn't really matter. I think I like the traditional a little bit more, just because on the traditional, you have that memory. Here, you really don't have, it doesn't really store any memory, so you really don't know where the fish went. But basically now, I'm just waiting for a red bar to come up from the bottom. Tiny, super tiny. But I'll take it. A big old shiner, we'll save him, but just a little 1/4 pound bass, maybe soaking wet, but a first flag in a while, but I'll definitely take that. Boom. If you guys notice, I don't have my GoPro on. All my GoPro batteries ran out of juice. My memory card has about 2 minutes left on my good camera. So hopefully we can catch something before I gotta go. Okay, so I have 20 seconds left in my memory card before it fills up, so I have to be pretty quick here. Overall, had a pretty good day, and what I suggest the Garmin Striker for yes, I love the Garmin Striker 4. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.